Hey Al, we are going live. Oh, she's not there. We're live. We are live.
We are.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not ready.
Well,
hi.
Hello. I guess you're ready now.
Well, I better be. Forgot a couple of things.
Oh, we gotta
I
go.
need Mimo remote going.
And are you? Is your voice back
Uh-oh.
in Discord?
No, it is not. Okay, now I'm back in Discord, so I should hear Steve twice. Hello, guys.
Hello, Discord.
Okay, and then we'll do that. There we go. And over here, I need to do this. All right, so you guys should be very excited to see something new around Steve's area there. It's very exciting. If you look closely, you will notice that he has a boom arm for his microphone and a nice shock mount for his microphone. And this is actually a present for me because I am tired of listening to him type during the show.
Can you hear me type now? I'll just bang out some words.
Type away right now.
You hear that? Did you hear it?
Just like a little crackling noise, not a giant annoying, making so much noise you drive me crazy noise.
Good. Well, it's isolating well.
That's good.
Excellent.
All right, let's see. Okay, I've got Discord on that iPad. I have
Discord
Excuse
people
me.
need a photo.
Yeah, what does that mean?
I guess he's not seeing video? You're not seeing video, Brett?
Rick refresh. Already did. Uh-oh.
Maybe he's just
Of
listening.
Steve's gadget.
Maybe he's just listening.
Can barely hear Steve's keyboard.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
I'll send him a quick pic.
Okay, even the fan is off. Actually, no, send him a send him an affiliate code for crying out loud.
Well, he's got to see it first.
Okay, fine. It was the blue Wait, how are you going to know which one it is?
What do you mean?
How are you sending a picture?
Through Discord.
Where are you getting the picture?
I just took a little screenshot.
Wait, I'm so confused.
I think he wanted to see the mic.
Well, why didn't
The
he
mic
just look
stand.
at the video?
I don't think he's getting video for some reason. Oh, it didn't.
Okay,
cut it
that's
off.
funny. Kevin's going to be sad he missed that.
There, do you see it? Do you see it now, Brett? Good, okay.
Wait, I'm so confused.
So Brett, for some reason, is
I'm on
just
Discord
audio.
only, no video. Okay. But I thought you were responding to TJ, who said Discord. Oh, no, it was Brett. Okay. Now I'm with you. Okay, you're going to send him
Kevin
constant.
is in the house.
Who's in the house?
Kevin, wingman.
Kevin said he wasn't going to make it.
Well, I guess maybe he's kind of tag teaming tonight.
It was all a decoy. Hey, did you put the ice cube in your drink, Steve?
No, it's hard to get an ice cube in this. But maybe I'll...
Maybe I could have. Ooh. I have a bowl of light.
A light bowl.
Oh, yeah, Kevin got a new iPad Pro. He got a 12.9-inch iPad Pro from his wife.
Oh, what a nice
Man,
gift.
Kevin was a good boy this year, huh?
Yeah, with that new pencil.
Oh, he got the pencil, too?
What does your shirt say there? Logic. Let's see, I can't quite read it. Logic.
It's being wrong with
Art of
confidence.
Being wrong with confidence.
That's from Dorothy.
Thank you, Dorothy.
Do you have your shirt on?
I don't.
You changed?
Yeah, I'm
Are you?
wearing
Oh, you're wearing your Hawaii 5-0
my
shirt.
5-0. Yes, book 'em, Dano.
All right, well, it's time for a roll call then. We have Sandy and... Is Bart here? I don't think he is. Sandy and Kevin and Brett and possibly Will. And let's see, John and Nuclear John, maybe not. I'm not sure. Rick, somebody in on Titan, and we got Frank and Alistair and TJ, who has no name next to him. TJ, how did you do that?
He found a way.
TJ managed to have no name now. Always pushing the edge of the envelope. Okay.
Yeah, he just blanked out his name.
I had to laugh at something Frank tweeted just a few minutes ago. Joe Duganzik of Smarter Home Life tweeted out a video that he did of his 2018 year in review, and Frank retweeted it with an ever so slight Amazon bias. That was great.
Nicely played, Frank.
All right, well, we should probably get the show on the road. What do you think?
Sure, let's do that.
My voice isn't going to last much longer. We'll see. Okay, I'm going to mute Steve. Goodbye, Steve.
Goodbye.
Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, December 30th, 2018, and this is show number 712. This week, we've got an interesting story of a tangled mess in Gmail by Terry Vogelaar, and a review by Troy Shimkus, and even a review by little old me. After that, we'll have a chat with Bart about his new router and how he chose a solution many of us wouldn't have considered. Well, I was honored this week to be on the Daily Tech News Show annual prediction show for 2019. Every year since forever, as far back as Buzz Out Loud days, Tom Merritt has held a prediction show followed at the end of the year with the same guests coming back to judge themselves on how well they predicted the future. I stink at predictions, so I crowdsourced the problem. I took ideas from our Facebook group at podfeet.com/Facebook, our Slack group over at podfeet.com/Slack, and I even threw it out there to the SMR Podcast Facebook group at facebook.com/SMR Podcast. I didn't use anyone's direct answer, but it was great to get so many ideas blended together by all of you to help me sound somewhat prescient. I hope so anyway. Many thanks to all of you who helped me with this. You can watch the video version of DTNS 3438 or subscribe over at dailytechnewsshow.com. I took a week off from recording Chit Chat Across the Pond, but we'll be back next week with Darren Carr of the Mac Quadcast, and then back into programming by stealth the following week with Bart Bouchatz. Okay, I'm going to put in a chapter mark for the DTNS thing. Okay.
That was even before you were reminded. Well done. Well done.
I know. Look at me go, girl.
Yeah. Gonna end off the year nicely. No sausage tonight.
We'll see. What if my voice goes?
I'll just fill in.
34, 38. Let's see. You'll fill in? Actually,
you know how much I love to be on mic.
Oh, yeah. Let me just check this. Well, I was honored this week. All right, there we go. So I think then we'll put in, how about we save the file? Oh, did Kevin see that you got a new microphone boom arm? Was he here when we were talking about that?
I think he was.
Was he? Kevin, did you see that? I bought him a present. I thought it was good.
I did too. Thank you. It's a nice one, and it stays up. Doesn't droop.
All right. Okie dokie. Oh, I don't like the way that looks. Lowercase p. That should be an uppercase. All right, here we go. Let's see. I'm going to now drop in Terry Vogelaar. Where do you think
Is
it is?
The Gmail one?
It's down here. Yeah. This is an interesting problem. And Steve helped. How did he know to ask you for help, Steve?
He didn't ask me specifically. He just posted a question on, I think it was a Facebook group, and I answered it as best I didn't truly answer his question, but I attempted to help him diagnose the problem.
Okay.
And then
here we go. Let's listen.
Let's listen.
Programming by stealth the following week with Bart Bouchatz.
Hi, this is Terry Vogelaar from Holland.
Maybe I should give him a little bit of an intro.
Yeah.
Let's see. Now let's hear from Terry about his interesting Gmail problem. All right. The following week with Bart Bouchatz. Now let's hear from Terry about his interesting Gmail problem.
Hi, this is Terry Vogelaar from Holland. Recently, I ran into a weird problem. Whenever I send mail from mail.app on my iMac using Gmail, people received it as if it was sent from my wife's email address. So they replied to her. Her Gmail account is listed among the accounts to synchronize her calendar with my calendar.app. But for the rest, it is not an active email account on my system. I double checked that it shows my address as the from address. And even when I viewed those messages in my sent folder, I see my own address. Yet, the receiver saw her address and replied to it. Totally baffling. Steve generously offered to...
Wait, you guys can't hear playback. Let me turn Steve back on. Steve, they're saying they don't hear playback.
I'm hearing it.
Oh, let me. I bet I've got a setting in.
Oh, Discord. They're not hearing.
I bet I've got a setting I got to do in Discord. Hang on. I revamped all of my stuff. Yep, there it is. Sorry.
Do you want to replay that?
I will replay that. It's short. Here we go. Now let's hear from Terry about his interesting Gmail problem.
Hi, this is Terry Vogelaar from Holland. Recently, I ran into a weird problem. Whenever I send mail from mail.app on my iMac using Gmail, people received it as if it was sent from my wife's email address. So they replied to her. Her Gmail account is listed among the accounts to synchronize her calendar with my calendar.app. But for the rest, it is not an active email account on my system. I double checked that it shows my address as the from address. And even when I viewed those messages in my sent folder, I see my own address. Yet, the receiver saw her address and replied to it. Totally baffling. Steve generously offered to help me. He found out that there was no trace of my address in the header data of the email I sent him. Then it finally dawned on me. I remembered that sending email uses a different protocol than receiving email. Receiving is usually IMAP. Sending is SMTP. So although the IMAP account of my wife's account was inactive, I apparently was using the SMTP settings of her account. Usually, the SMTP servers are just as easily fooled as the normal postal service.
What? Oh no.
Just as easily fooled as the normal postal service.
What happened?
How'd that get cut off? We've heard the full thing, right?
I thought so.
Well, we heard it to the end at one point.
I thought so. Hang on. I'm playing something you guys can't hear. Yeah, so something just got messed up when I dragged it in. Now I don't know. I wasn't actually paying attention, so I don't know where we lost it. Let me drag this back into position. Oh, come on. Minus. Wait. There we go. All right, sliding it back into place. Okay. Make sure the gap is okay. Gmail problem.
Hi, this is Terry Vogelaar from Holland.
Okay. About how far in were we?
I sent him. Then it finally dawned on me. I remembered that sending email uses a different protocol than receiving email.
That's good.
Receiving is usually IMAP. Sending is SMTP. So although the IMAP account of my wife's account was inactive, I apparently was using the SMTP settings of her account. Usually, the SMTP servers are just as easily fooled as the normal postal service.
What is going on?
You're having a clipping issue there.
Yeah, it's like it just gets...
So it's upon import that it's cutting it off as you bring the file in?
I guess. I'm just confused. Hang on. So I listened to the end, and the last thing he says is it's a feature, not a bug. So what is, okay, 139 plus 150. How many minutes in would that be? Can somebody add that for me? 139 plus 150? 229?
Say it again. 139?
Wait. I had it.
That would be three.
139 plus 150.
3:29. 3 minutes, 29 seconds.
And this is losing the last 29 seconds. What? How the heck? Okay, pulling it in again. So it's 1 minute and 50 seconds.
Wait. No, it should... Oh, okay.
Normal postal service.
Okay, I don't... I don't know how to
What
fix
is the
this.
cursor or line at the end? I'm going to blow your screen up here. What is the cursor or line at 302?
That's just me, my cursor.
Can you move that way to the right and then bring it in again?
Like to see if it's cropping to where I drop it?
Nope.
I can see right there that that's clipped, I think. Let me see.
Easily fooled as the normal postal service.
Yeah, that's definitely clipped.
So here, let me let you guys hear. Okay, no, I should just figure this out. Okay, so the whole thing is fine on the MP3. Let me try opening it with a different app and see if it acts normal. Open with Fission. And I will look at that. How can we have sausage with a pre-recorded message?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine.
So you're playing it on a track below what we can see?
Sorry?
You're playing it on a track below what we can see on your screen?
I'm playing it in a different app.
Because as you're doing that, the cursor is moving.
Yeah, I just didn't stop at the play.
Playhead, I should say.
Let me try putting it on a different track. No, this is bizarre, you guys. I can see that's, well, let me see.
Just as easily fooled as the normal postal service.
I've never seen anything like this. Okay, let me...
Is there a preference on preferred lengths of audio clips to bring in, and is that been adjusted possibly?
I don't think so.
I've never heard of such a setting, but
version 2. I'm going to just save it out using Fission. And yeah, that's the whole thing now.
So it was the version?
No, I just opened the same file in Fission, saved it back out, and it fixed it. It's interesting Gmail problem.
Hi, this is Terry.
Okay, so where you've last heard it.
Service. If I would claim to be Leonardo da Vinci, people would receive mail from Leonardo, and the postal service or the SMTP server wouldn't care. People can impersonate whomever they want when they send email. This, of course, is abused quite often by spammers. Apparently, Gmail corrects the message when the from address doesn't match the settings of the SMTP server. So it probably is a feature, not a bug. But man, what a weird problem to solve.
All right. Don't know why that happened, but I'm glad we got around it. I am going to
So much for the lack
Open.
of sausage.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I didn't need to do that. Yeah, I know. We weren't supposed to have sausage.
Did you lose your front end intro when you did all that stuff? I don't see on your screen.
Nope. No, it's there.
I thought you oh, okay, it's just blue now. Whoop. Let me
Whatever I have selected is a different color.
there it is. Okay, I see it now.
I wrote. Oh, I actually wrote a little intro here. I'm going to slide him over and re-record this little section here and read what I wrote for the blog. Here we go. Terry Vogelaar ran into a very puzzling problem with his Gmail, and he enlisted Steve's help in diagnosing the problem. It's a unique problem, but I think his explanation will be something to tuck away for a rainy day when someone else has a similar problem. Let's have a listen. Okay. Let's have a listen. Oh, no, you can't listen if I mute it. Have a listen.
Hi, this is...
Okay. And now I'm going to read the end of what I wrote. Thanks a lot for that, Terry. That was a really interesting problem, and I don't think I ever would have figured it out. Now, some of you might be asking, as I did, how to find the SMTP settings to which Terry is referring here. Open Mail Preferences and select the Accounts tab. Then select the Gmail account in question. The third tab over on this page will be Server Settings. It will show your outgoing mail account, which is...
It's really the server,
It will
right?
show your out... It will show your out... That's exactly why I stopped, Steve.
Okay.
It will say outgoing mail account, and that's really the SMTP server, which in Terry's case was set incorrectly to his wife's account. Of course, this doesn't have to be a Gmail account that you could check it on, but that was the case where he had it. If yours is mismatched like Terry's, you can use the pull down to choose the correct account and even manually enter the correct server information. Okay. It does say outgoing mail account. So I was quoting directly from the help from the screen.
I see.
But it's really, actually, no, that's not right either. Dang it. No, it is your outgoing mail account. Okay, I'm going to record that again.
Not the server.
Yeah, hang on. Right. Thanks a lot for that, Terry. I really appreciate you recording that because that's something I don't think I would have figured out, but I'm really glad I know about this now. Now, some of you may be asking, as I did, how to find the SMTP settings to which Terry refers. Open Mail Preferences and select the Accounts tab. Then select the Gmail account in question. The third tab over on this page will be Server Settings. It will show you your outgoing mail account, and that's the SMTP account they're talking about, and which in Terry's case was set incorrectly to his wife's account. If yours is mismatched like Terry's, you can use the pull down on your mail account to choose the correct account and even manually enter the correct server information. Thanks again, Terry. That was pretty cool. Okay, that's what I meant to say.
There you go. Puts a nice bow
All
on
right.
it.
Okay, what are we going to talk about now?
How about
We're only 4 minutes
how
in. I
about
think
a
I'm going to...
mug?
No, I'm going to do the... that is what's next. Yeah, you're right. Let's talk about my coffee mug.
Ooh.
Why, look. You would even say it glows.
It's a little bright.
Yep.
Yeah, let me bring you full screen. No, that's not it.
Can you see it glowing down there? Nope, it's too white.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Trust us, it glows. All right, let's see how long I can talk without coughing or something. Here we go. Oh, nope, I need this open first because I had to do a chapter mark.
Yes.
Kevin, did you tell me to?
He did.
Yes, he did. Dang it, one of these days I'll catch him. All right, let's go here.
It's just tea, Frank. Just tea. And a little
It
honey
is actually tea.
to help with the voice. Had a very shiny glow.
In theory. That's what I thought. All right, here we go. Yeah, we'll see if I make it through this. I think it's unlikely.
I bet you can do it.
Sure I can. Okay, muting Steve. Being retired, I have the luxury of very slowly sipping a cup of coffee in bed every morning while I play on the internet with my iPad. The problem of slowly sipping coffee is that quite quickly it gets cold, and I prefer very hot coffee. For my second cup of coffee, which is consumed after working out in the morning, I have a thermal mug and I order my Starbucks at an insanely hot 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, I'm sure you're really sympathetic to the terrible challenge I face on that first cup of coffee, though, right? Cold coffee is not good coffee. The solution to the problem is from a company called Ember from Ember.com. You may remember that we interviewed them at CES back in 2016 when they first introduced a smart travel mug that was designed to heat and cool your drink. Their product was not yet released, and as it was a tall thermal travel mug, it really didn't solve my problem. I wanted a coffee cup. Well, since that time, Ember has introduced a smart ceramic mug that will keep your beverage warm. It comes in either white or black and looks just like a very traditional white or black coffee mug. The original Ember travel mug comes in at $150, which makes the newer Ember ceramic mug sound like a steal at $80. This is clearly in the luxury item category, which is why I never asked for it for so long, but it really could solve my challenging cold coffee problem, so I asked for it and got it from Santa this year. The Ember mug comes with a plug-in charging coaster that has two little gold pins sticking up on the surface. When you set the mug down, two gold rings on the bottom of the mug made up with these pins, allowing the coaster to charge the internal batteries on the mug. Now, let's back up for a moment to 1985 when Steve had a coffee mug that basically solved the same problem in the same way. The coaster was a heating element that was activated by a magnet in the bottom of the mug. When the mug was on the coaster, the metal plate on the coaster itself would heat up, thereby heating up the bottom of the mug and keeping the liquid inside the cup quite hot. So how is the Ember mug really an advancement in beverage heating? Let me count the ways. First of all, the mug itself has a battery in it, which is charged by the coaster. The coaster doesn't heat up the mug heats itself. Now, strangely, the mug doesn't get hot even when the liquid temperature is set to the maximum of 145 degrees. It gets pleasantly warm, but it's not quite enough to heat up my cold hands in the morning. The last thing is you have control of how hot the beverage gets, and that 1985 solution did not do that. Now, how is this Ember mug smart? Well, of course it has an app because everything has an app nowadays. The app provides a ton of cool capability you probably didn't think you needed, but maybe you do. The first thing you do with the app is to pair your mug, which is a very simple process, and it worked flawlessly. There was no getting on a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi network or any of that nonsense. Simply select Pair New Device, then hit the power button on the bottom of the mug, and you're done. Well, except for the inevitable firmware update, right? We definitely live in different times when your coffee mug needs a firmware update. Once that's done, you're invited to personalize your mug by changing the color of the little light that glows near the bottom of the mug when the Ember logo is facing you. I do have to say, this is biased towards right-handed people. If you hold the mug in your left hand, the logo and the light will be facing away from you. In any case, it's fun to play with the color wheel to choose just that perfect shade of pink for your mug. This light can be important if you have multiple Ember mugs in your household. When you pick up the mug, there's a motion sensor inside that triggers the light to come on, and that allows you to immediately tell you whether it's your mug. If you're blind, that's not going to help you very much, but don't worry, because the Ember app isn't accessible anyway. You're blocked at the very first step, I'm afraid, because you can't select your mug with VoiceOver turned on. Well, we'll have to keep going for those who have the gift of sight. After you do the initial setup of your Ember mug, you're invited to choose a temperature for your liquid refreshment by sliding a scrolling wheel from left to right. The purpose of the Ember mug is to maintain the temperature, but for grins and giggles, I asked it to heat some water from 100 degrees Fahrenheit to 145 degrees. It did heat it up to that temperature, but that burned through the entire battery, so it was not able to maintain 145 when it got there. After recharging the mug by putting it on the charger coaster, I tested again with a cup of freshly brewed coffee, and it kept it at 145 degrees Fahrenheit for well over an hour before the battery ran out. If you drink your beverage faster than I do, you could probably get a couple of cups worth of keeping the temperature hot before needing to recharge. But definitely plan on charging your cup frequently. It's not hard to recharge because you can simply use the coaster when you set the cup down. It takes about an hour and a half to recharge the battery fully. Now, if you're more adventurous than me and actually drink different beverages at different temperatures, Ember Mug can store 6 different preferences. You can create temperature presets that you can name and then set with the tap of an icon button. They provide 5 example names and temperatures, along with one called Heater Off, which I guess could also be useful, like you just don't want it to keep heating. Ember also has provided a tea timer so you can be notified when the perfect steeping time has elapsed. 3 tea times can also be defined and named for different types of tea. Now you might be wondering whether this is the cup for you. I have 2 answers for you. Maybe yes, maybe no. Pat Dingler and I both got the Ember Mug right around the same time. She returned hers, and I love mine. Let's compare our usage to see why. I drink 1 cup of coffee very slowly every morning. Pat drinks 2 cups of coffee fairly quickly. Her coffee doesn't really have time to cool down. I drink my coffee in one location, sitting in bed, so I have the coaster plugged in right next to me, sitting on my bedside table, and that works perfectly. I do have to remember to let it charge before I bring it down and wash it, so it's ready to have fresh coffee in it the next morning. Pat, on the other hand, wanders all over her house with her coffee, so setting it down on the coaster wasn't always a viable option. Now, you might think you could just get a second coaster, and that is an option. Ember charges $40 for a second charging coaster. I think faced with that really needing a second coaster, I'd buy a second cup/coaster combo for $70 just in case I later broke the ceramic mug for that price. Now, Pat likes to make tea in the afternoon. She evidently drinks a lot of tea because it lasted just through 2 cups for her, and that wasn't enough for her needs. Again, this gets back to the inconvenience to her of setting the cup down in the charging coaster, which wasn't a problem at all for me. So if you're like me and you have a consistent location for drinking your hot beverages, and you might really find the Ember Mug useful. I'm picturing when I was working and often drank coffee at my desk, where a charging coaster would have been perfectly convenient. If you drink your hot beverages quickly and don't care if they cool off, then definitely don't invest in an Ember Mug. If you wander locations and don't want to shell out $40 for each spot, you might want to set your coffee down so it can charge. The Ember Mug is also the wrong product. But I'm delighted with my Ember ceramic mug, and I love having piping hot coffee for the hour it takes me to drink it. A luxury item to be sure, but one I adore. While I'm doing the podcast right now, I am sipping a cup of warm tea, which is at a perfect temperature for me. I wonder if that's going to piss anybody off because I said I don't drink tea.
Yeah, I think you already have.
Oh, the hate mail, right?
Yeah, it's the chat.
I made it through in one fell swoop. You were right.
Well.
I could do it.
Hey,
I wanted to stop.
There was a question about the connection, Wi-Fi connection. So is it the coaster connected to the Wi-Fi network? And then the mug, it communicates via...
No, I think the mug is talking directly to the phone. Because there was
really?
no getting the mug onto Wi-Fi. Remember I said you don't connect it to a Wi-Fi network?
Oh, is it... Okay, so how's it connected to your phone? Wi-Fi or Bluetooth?
I would guess Bluetooth because you never...
Okay. Well, that's what... I think it was John was suspecting that.
Yeah, so... there's my cup. I don't know why it says 139. I told it to be at 142. Now that I noticed that. Why is that? Not quite sure it's at 139. That doesn't make any sense.
It was Brett. Brett was right.
Does it have
He
a
thought it
gin
would
and
be
tonic
Bluetooth.
setting?
And he was right.
It's got to be Bluetooth because, literally all you do... let's see. How do you get back to the home screen?
It makes more sense. It's lower power and...
Oh, here we go. My devices. So you get a screen that looks like this. It says select your device. And right now it's got the one cup. But if I wanted to pair new device, I would hit pair new device. And then it would say hit the button on the bottom and it would pair and I'd be done.
Yeah, that's got to be...
That's all you do.
And it makes more sense.
Let's see. Pair mode. First, make sure your mug is powered off. Then press and hold the Ember logo for 8 seconds until the display reads pair. Press and hold the power button for 4 seconds until the LED flashes blue. So they basically said, don't worry your pretty little head about it.
Yeah. I think Brett was, he heard you talking about Wi-Fi.
Oh, you're confused because I mentioned Wi-Fi, but I said you don't have to do any Wi-Fi stuff.
It's not as hard as the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, the Wi-Fis.
The Wi-Fis. Wi-Fis.
Be sure to say it correctly. The Wi-Fis. What did I say I was going to do next? So I think I'm going to do Troy before the break. I'm going to switch the order for what you're seeing, Steve.
Okay.
I'm just going to switch that up.
So Troy up next?
Yeah. And I'll do Bart after the Patreon ad. All right. Let's see. Let's switch gears here and have a listen to the Rocketbook review by Troy Simp. Okay, gotta be able to pronounce his name. And I'm not drinking. What'd you put in my tea is the question. All right, let's switch gears and listen to a Rocketbook review by Troy Shimkus. And let's see if that gets cut off. That was so weird. Troy Rocketbook. I like Troy. I like his reviews. Okay, his is short too. Let me make sure it's not cut off at the other end.
Would be a life changer for me. Happy holidays, all.
Now, he sent this before the holidays, so hopefully there's still a holiday left, right? Is it rocket science or rocket surgery? Listen to a Rocketbook review by Troy Shimkus.
Hello, fellow castaways. This is Troy Shimkus coming to you from sunny Florida. I wanted to do a quick review of a product that I recently came across called Rocketbook. I've long been interested in taking written notes during meetings and turning them into shareable electronic artifacts. Ever since I was a student, I've had to kind of attend meetings or classes and needed a better way to take notes. In grad school, I had one of those old original HP tablets, still in a closet somewhere, I'm sure, but it was one of the first generation that had a removable keyboard and a stylus pen that was kind of attached with a little tether to the screen. I enjoyed using that in college for electronic notes. It was actually a very useful tool, but also very heavy, and of course, by today's standards, clunky as anything. As an educator later in life, I was always looking for the next best note-taking / organizing of notes tool that we could find. So I came across a product called LiveScribe, which I loved, and I eventually even played a role in selling and training on those products to school districts here in Florida. Once the iPad came out, I pretty much gave up on any pen input, even though my typing wasn't all that fast. And now that I have the iPad Pro with the Apple Pencil, I have landed with Notability as my note taker of choice, and I haven't looked back. So out of the blue, my company decided to send out a little thank you gift to all of us, and this year it was the Rocketbook. The short version of the review is that it's a fun thing to play with, but I don't know that I found any real unique use for the product that I couldn't do with any old piece of paper and a smartphone. So basically, the product is a notebook of special glossy paper that's kind of made from a type of polyester and an erasable pen, so you can actually write on the pages and then erase them using the included microfiber cloth and a little spritz of water. It's a good way to not create more paper waste for sure. The nifty part comes in when you use the Rocketbook app to snap a picture of the page, which can then be sent to several different cloud services like Dropbox or Google Drive. You can send it through email, a message, Slack, etc. Each page has a set of 7 symbols at the bottom that each kind of correspond to a separate macro, if you will. And they will automatically send that page to the defined service when you scan it with the app. So in the app, you set up that this symbol goes to this service and that symbol goes to this service. And when you scan the page and you mark on those little symbols, it automatically gets sent to those services. So there's an array of dots on each page that kind of assist the app in scanning and positioning the paper. So it helps you don't have to keep it perfectly aligned. It'll use those dots to help with the scanning and alignment of the pages. But what I find lacking is more of the post-scanning use. Pages get sent to the cloud services, and from there you have to rely on the cloud services for organizing the pages. For example, sending to Google Drive creates a PDF with a date stamp name that really doesn't mean much, but then Google can then turn that into a Google Doc and attempt an OCR, but at that point you lose any drawings. And then you've got a collection of individual pages on Google Drive. So while it's a nifty little product, and it will definitely save paper, I haven't yet found any great use for it in business or my personal life. One last funny thing is there's a note on the inside front cover that says, "Do not microwave this notebook." Now, while I thought that might just be them being a little funny, like some tech companies do, kind of like MailChimp comes to mind, this company actually has another product that is apparently a notebook you do microwave to erase the pages. It seems their primary focus is on reducing paper consumption, and that's an admirable thing in and of itself. Now, if you can create a sticky note that I can write on and then it just sends itself to my computer without having to be scanned or anything, that would be a life changer for me. Happy holidays, all.
So he wasn't joking about this. Oh, you're about to
The
talk?
microwave thing?
Yeah.
No, and I looked on the website. They have a notebook that when you're done writing in it and to erase the pages, you stick it in the microwave.
Wow. Huh.
Hey, did I do a chapter mark for this?
You
I
should.
didn't.
You should.
I should.
Yes.
I should. I bet Kevin told me to.
Yes, he did.
I'm not being very obedient tonight, am I? Yeah, so the main thing he said he didn't like was when you send it to other services, it just goes in like a blob with a date on it. They don't do anything to help you have this be like organized notebooks. They're just like a PDF. It just barfs it over into Google Drive or wherever. Are you laughing at my...
Onomatopoeia.
Is that what that was?
Well,
That's
I
not
don't
what
know if that
onomatopoeia is.
technically qualifies as it.
I don't think so.
Let's just call them sound effects.
Did you see my snarky review title for next month's review? No, I did not, Frank. You know, one of the reasons I don't drink tea, Steve, is because it gets cold. This is tasty.
But the Ember mug is keeping it the right
Yeah,
temp.
it's keeping it hot. The one thing I didn't mention, I should have mentioned, is that that last sip is really hot. Like it doesn't quite trigger the fact that it's almost empty. By the way, it will tell you if it's empty, which I think is funny. It's like, can't you look in the cup?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Muting Steve.
For me. Happy holidays, all.
Well, thanks, Troy. That's interesting. I still want to try it. It still looks pretty cool, but I can see how that would be a problem, that everything is just kind of barfed over into the cloud service that you choose without any kind of organization, like what you get over in Notability, which, by the way, still one of my favorite apps on the iPad, especially with Pencil. Well, one of the ways you can choose to help the Podfeet podcast is by pledging $1 amount per episode of the NosillaCast. My favorite thing about Patreon to do this is how you are in control of how much you choose to pay and how to distribute the money. Let's say things get a little tight one month. You can dial back your payments for a while until things loosen up for you. Let's say you're feeling a little bit flush. You can be like Chris did this month and dial up your payments. You have complete flexibility to control your finances, and that's how it should be. If you've been planning on becoming a patron of the Podfeet podcast, now is a great time to get started by going to podfeet.com/Patreon and signing up. If you can't afford to do it, please do not feel guilty about that. As Chris of the SMR podcast recommends, just go get one of your friends and put them in a headlock and make them subscribe to the show. That's great too. Many thanks to all of the patrons, and especially Chris, for increasing his donation this month. Ding, 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 ding. Now let's see if I can do me and Bart. So I've gotten lots of fun feedback. Oh, we should let Steve talk. I've gotten so much fun with about Chit Chat Across the Pond in the grammar episode. Did you guys listen to that?
With Dr. Marianne.
Yeah. I loved it. Jill, who normally writes about programming stuff, wrote, and I'm not exaggerating, a point-by-point description of her views on every single thing we talked about. It was a 16-point email. And when I debated some of them with her, one of them is 15 B I. That's how many indents we've had. John, I just got Steve. It's funny you should ask that. I just got your name. Are you on furlough?
Oh,
But not essential, so you don't have to. You don't
part
go
of the
in, but you don't
government.
get paid.
That's got to be it.
Ah, that.
Oh man.
Uh,
So John, does that mean no pay and and it won't be recoverable pay since you're not working?
I think they do get the money
Well, if you're working,
after the shutdown.
if you're working, I would say yes.
No, I think you get it either way, don't you, John?
Oh, he was already on leave until the 7th. So, okay.
Well, that's interesting. But if you're on leave, you're not getting your vacation pay that you should have been getting, right? People who don't get paid are the government contractors. Oh, okay. All right. Let's see. That's got to be a split. You'd be doing
Renovation
renovation
of the
insurance? Oh, yeah. I heard that about that. God, we aren't going to get into politics, I promise. But it's hard not to be sympathetic.
Yes, we feel for you.
Oh, I saw that the Senate already said we would get paid, and the House is expected to agree.
Oh, good. That must have just happened.
Gosh, I just assumed. Well, I got some feedback in here. All right, let's hear how this sounds. His donation this month. Well, guys, I've asked... okay, that is too big of a gap. That's what I'm going to do. There we go. In this month. Well, guys, I've asked Bart to come on here to tell us a story of a new router that he's got, and it sounds like it's a pretty interesting thing. How are you doing today, Bart?
Mentally fine. Physically, I have a bloody head cold, and I hate having a head cold. It makes me dumb, cranky, and something else. Can't remember what the something else is.
Well, Bart, you're still twice as smart as me, so I'll take it. So I remember we were talking on the show. You may have said it on the air. I know you said it to me, was that your router had to be rebooted several times in a row recently?
Yeah, there was one day we recorded, and I was a bit nervous because 3 times previously that day I'd had to go down and do a hard reset on my router. And that, yeah, and it behaved itself that day, and it behaved itself for about 3 or 4 more days, and then it decided to do it again. And, every time it would come back, but it never quite seemed to come back for as long. So I very quickly decided it was time for a plan B. So I now have a new router, which is the end of this story, but it's actually interesting because I took a little bit of homework to figure out what to do, because for years and years and years now, it might even be for decades, which is kind of a scary thought. I've been running one form or another of a dedicated router version of Linux or Unix. So I think I used to use one called IP-COP, which was based off Linux. And then some time ago, I switched to a BSD-based router operating system called pfSense. Which is pretty hardcore, actually. We use it in work as well, where it keeps a few thousand people on wireless at the same time. So it's fairly powerful.
So is that a hardware thing, or are you talking about a software? Kevin says, no, don't go. All right. Oh, wait a minute. I hope it all goes smoothly, Kevin. Doesn't he work with poop? He always makes poop jokes. I don't want any puns to come out of it. Yeah, that's right, John. All right, let's see.
So whenever that is, and until then, happy computing.
What's that, Steve?
Kevin's going to be involved with a major update next week. So
right, I saw that, but she said, I hope all things go smoothly, and knowing Kevin, a poop joke would ensue. Yep. All right. Oh, I should probably put the end of the show on the end here. Oh, I did put it on there. Never mind. All right. We'll see you on the flippity flip. Anybody know what that's from? Do you remember, Steve?
Oh, man, it's on the tip of my tongue.
We'll see you on the flippity flip.
Was that Seinfeld?
Mm-mm. I'm not gonna tell you.
Someone in the chat room will get it.
All right, I'm gonna mute you. Well, that's going to wind up another year of the NosillaCast without a missed episode. It doesn't matter if I don't have a voice. If I'm on vacation, it doesn't matter. We have every single week we have the NosillaCast, and I'm proud of that, as you can tell, and I hope you guys appreciate it, and I know that you guys do. But that is going to wind us up for this week. Actually, I forgot to say see you on the flippity flip. Maybe I'll do that as the last thing. See if anybody listens to the end. But that is going to wind us up for this week. Do not forget to send in your dumb questions, comments, and suggestions. You can do that by emailing me at allison@podfeet.com. If you want to follow me on Twitter, check out @podfeet. Remember, everything good starts with podfeet.com/whatever you're looking for. Looking for Patreon? Podfeet.com/Patreon. Looking for our Facebook group? Podfeet.com/Facebook. Looking for our Slack community? Podfeet.com/Slack. Want to join the live chat room? Podfeet.com/chat. Want to find those Amazon affiliate links? Podfeet.com/Amazon. And if you want to join in the fun of the live show, head on over to podfeet.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic NosillaCastaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. And I'll see you on the flippity flip.
I got it.
Did you get it, Steve?
I got it.
Did you get it or somebody else got it?
Well, I haven't seen it in the chat room yet.
But you got it?
I did.
What was it?
Well,
What's that?
I feel like I got it in an unfair manner.
You cheated and looked it up?
Yeah.
No.
I did.
Come on. Did anybody else get it?
But as soon as I saw it, it connected.
Yeah. Well, as soon as you saw the answer, you knew it was the answer.
Well, it made
that's
sense.
Impressive, dear.
I remember the answer.
It is
now.
Michael Scott from The Office.
The Office. The U.S.
I think
version
it's
of
the
The
last day he's there, and he starts trying to shoot a basket over his head backwards, and he shoots it like 168 times, and every time he does, he says, "See you on the flippity flip."
Never watched the show.
Folks.
It's a funny show.
Oh, really? Oh, Kevin, that's good stuff. It's a lot of fun. All right, let's slide that out there and slide out there and hear how that sounds. Stay subscribed, and I'll see you on the flippity flip. A little quiet.
So you actually changed your outgoing.
I know, and nobody's going to
outro.
notice.
Well, I did.
Yeah, no, who listens to the end of a
Yeah, we'll
podcast?
see.
I mean, I could basically go blah, 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 blah at the end, and I would
Pretend you're
never hear
talking
from
to
you
Forbes.
guys. Yep. All right, there we go. I think we are a wrap. And we have 7 minutes to spare, so I'm going to let you guys out of class early. How's that sound?
Sounds good. And you need to recuperate
I think maybe I do.
your voice.
Oh, well, what are you going to do? Come on. The show must go on, right, guys?
Yes.
Happy New Year, everybody. Yeah, I'm fine, Sandy. I just sound like garbage. End a podcast like the end of a movie. I listen just in case. Oh, good, Rick. Well, now you know there's an Easter egg. Oh, Alistair always listens to the end, too. Wow. All right, guys. I think it is time to call it. Where was Rose, by the way?
I did not see her tonight.
That is an unfortunate thing. All right. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. Hang me up, Steve.
It's a wrap.
Hang up.
I did.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you later.